Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Dear Work Wives, where we help you create work cultures that just don't suck. I'm Adrienne, and I'm here
And
with. Oh,
I
you
was
were
like, I'm
saying.
Emily. And I also have
Yeah.
Mac here today,
Special
who is probably
appearance.
going to try to chew my cords. So it's going to last like 1 minute. But
Perfect.
yes,
I need one of those cats that, like, when you hold it, it like falls asleep.
a ragdoll cat where you go like
That's
this. Mine
yeah.
doesn't do it. They like still stay stiff, but they do let us pick them up like that, which is very rare for a cat. So, but those are called ragdoll cats and they are very expensive.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're like a fancy breed, like all our cats are just like domestic short hair. Like,
Yeah.
it's a cat, but
Right.
ragdolls are fancy cats.
Okay. Like, it's like a Siamese cat.
Right.
Is that like a
Yeah.
fancy cat?
That's a
Yeah.
fancy cat. Yeah. Yeah.
What about the really big cats? What are they called?
Maine Coons.
Maine Coons.
Those are
yeah.
fancy cats.
Fancy
those are
cat.
like, my cats are like Honda Civics of the cat world, And then I think that ragdolls are probably like Beamers, And then Maine Coons are probably like very expensive cars that I don't know what the names of those
like
brands
a
are.
G-Wagon. Like a
Sure.
G-Wagon.
Yeah.
200K,
Totally. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How's your pumpkin spice decaf coffee this week?
It's good.
Good.
It's still
hitting
giving
spot?
me what I was asking for. Yeah.
Excellent. Perfect.
Yep.
Love that.
What's going on in your world this week? Anything new?
No, it's a very
know about.
like literally nothing. It's very much just we've settled back in. School is in session. Life is on a routine. And we're just making the most of it. We are supposed to get sunshine tomorrow or Saturday, Sunday, and be like 25, 26 degrees Celsius. So we think that this is like the final hurrah of summer.
Summer weather.
Right. And ish, because it's still fall sun. But we have not drained our pool yet because we are hoping that we will get one more day where we can float on top of the pool, because the actual pool itself is 55 degrees right now. But floating on top of it, in the sun. So just, if you are a prayer, manifest that for me, that I can get one more soak up the sun in the pool and be done with it, because
I hope that is where God puts his energy this week.
Thank you. Because I also have just been dreading, I hate emptying the pool. So I'm like, maybe we're going to get one more thing of sun. Like, I probably could have emptied it a month ago. I would have been fine. I think I've been in it twice in a month. So, but it's fine. I'm really excited for that possibility. So that's this small glimmer of, how people say, like, instead of have you seen this TikTok? Instead of something triggering you, it's called a glimmer. It's the opposite. It's something that like brings you like excitement and joy and like hope. That's a glimmer for me, if I can get one more float in the pool.
One more glimmer.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the idea of recognizing glimmers instead of only recognizing triggers, because I'm in my new era of toxic positivity. So
I know you shared that, and I'm like, well, now I guess I gotta stop sharing. I gotta stop saying about half the things I say to you. So
no, it's not true. It's just that I want to be more mindful of when it's causing me anxiety. So that's what, like, I guess it's not really toxic positivity, because there are just the realities of, like, this morning Kit was having like a million meltdowns. She was quite a monster, but I wasn't letting it get to me. Like, I wasn't letting it ruin my day or my morning. I was just being present with her and like not letting myself get anxious and frustrated, which easier said than done. That doesn't happen all the time, but I'm just trying to not let that like set the tone for everything else.
Yeah.
Because I definitely can have the tendency to be like, oh, this ruined everything, or like, oh, this is so annoying, or parenting, and like it was just exhausting and giving myself anxiety of like, even like, I am also like very much a schedule mom. Like my kids have a nap schedule, they have a bedtime schedule, and I get anxious if we deviate from that. And so when I was with some of my friends a couple weekends ago who are a little more go with the flow as it relates to schedules. Like,
Yes.
they still have anxiety in different ways, and but like if so and so didn't get a nap, like they were just like, oh, it's like whatever, we'll just do on the go, and
Just figure it out.
if
Yeah.
they don't get to bed, like I don't know, they'll just go to bed when they go to bed, or they'll just fall asleep on the couch while we're out here like talking. And I've never done that. I've never just like expected my child to like fall asleep on the couch while I'm out,
Socializing.
adulting.
Yeah.
Like socializing in the next room or even in the same room. And we didn't end up staying that night because it was chaos and I got anxious, and I was like, and Tyler got anxious. He's like, we gotta go. We gotta get these kids to bed. If we didn't have Coco, I think I would have, Kit can handle it a little bit more.
Yeah. A baby
that
is,
was the other thing. Like, they have older kids than I do.
Yeah.
So maybe with time, I will also get like a little more go with the flow. But I was just noticing where I create a lot of my own anxiety, and maybe it's unnecessary. So I've just been trying to notice myself a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I have always been the queen of go with the flow with my children, because it's the only way that I could survive parenting. Like,
yeah,
I could not be like, and it's a personal choice, but like I could not be the mom who was like, I must be home every day at 12:30 because my baby naps, because then I'm like, but like, what if I get to see my Nana and she's only free at 1? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or what if I get to go see my best friend and go for a drive and she can meet at 1, then I would.
Yeah.
So I just needed, in order to survive, my kids had to be a little bit more adaptable with their nap times. Yeah. To each their own. I would love to
adopt more of that mentality, I guess, is what I'm trying to lean into. Is like, they can be on a schedule like 80% of the time.
There's the ideal.
Like 20% of the time is I can go with the flow a little more, and it's not going to mess them up or ruin. It doesn't have to ruin my day,
right? Like last week when we took our kids to a concert on a school night and they were out until like 10:30. That's not the ideal. It's also not the normal. But it was an experience that like the 4 of us got to do together that was like so fun and fulfilling and like a huge memory. And Lila saw these like female like punk rock and like rock and roll, and she idolizes like Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo, who are also amazing, but it was so cool for her to see like different genres. It was all female musicians. The opening band, the girls were in grade 8 and grade 9, and they were like incredible. And so now she's like, well, now she's just like, oh, that's so cool. I want to learn guitar. She wants like merch. She wants like a t-shirt and all that stuff. So, it was worth it. The next day sucked for a bit in the morning, but it was worth it. And so I kind of learned when to push it and when not to, Yeah.
I'm just working on that,
My kids are older though. It is much easier when they're older. Like, don't get me wrong. I have lots of friends who stuck to the strict schedules, and that's what saved them,
Right.
So
right.
There's no right or wrong. There's just what works for your family.
Yeah. So I'm in my toxic positivity
era.
Stage.
Perfect.
Era. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's toxic positivity our way into getting together in person, like just making these things happen, like
make it happen.
We're gonna figure it out. Toxic positivity. Yeah.
Just gratitude for everything.
Yeah.
Like, I can't stand like but you should be so grateful for like, okay, I am grateful for that, but they're also like making me lose my mind.
There's like the and. I think everyone just needs to live in the and, okay? Can we just all agree?
I want to live in the and more, right? Because I think I've like gone sometimes too far to the other end of the spectrum.
Yes.
Get back to like more gratitude, more like it's not that big of a deal type of let it flow off your back. To help me meet in the middle a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yes. Kit has been asking, she's been talking about her 4th birthday a lot, and she doesn't turn 4 until January, so that gives you an idea of where we're at.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She wanted to go to Disney, and I was like, okay, Mommy can take you to Disney, but that means like no party, because like we're
no
not
presents,
doing and Disney. And she's like, well, then my friend can come to Disney. I was like, well, that's kind of expensive to ask your friends to come to Disney, so no. And then 2 nights ago, she was like, Mommy, I just really want to go to the zoo for my birthday. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay,
Like,
you can do
we can
that.
go to the, I'm like, girl, we can go to the zoo this weekend.
You
Like,
can go to the zoo tomorrow. Like,
like we have a zoo membership.
yeah,
So,
we can go for 1 hour and see one animal, and like we're good.
correct.
Yeah,
Like, so I guess we're gonna go to the zoo this weekend and fill her cup with some
nice.
animals. And then I have I like was really ahead of the game this year, and on Sunday morning we're doing like a 15-minute mini session for photos for holiday cards, I guess.
Wow.
And just in general, but like I wanted like a mini session, and the photographer that I like was like doing mini sessions now, so I'm like, all right,
Right.
let's just do it.
Good
Get it
for
done.
you.
15 minutes.
In and out. You got your outfits ready?
No, that's the problem. I don't know what to wear because it's in studio, which I wanted.
Oh,
Like I wanted that
mhm.
vibe,
Yeah.
but I can't decide. Like, should we just wear all black to get like cool contrast, or should we go neutral, or should I let the girls do like fun colors to get their personality? I could go any different way, and I'm really torn. So
I'm team let
I don't
them show
really
their
care that it
personality.
maybe won't like be a Christmas
Match.
card theme. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I don't care about
Yeah.
that. What's your
If
vote?
Tyler's not wearing a Sam Club shirt, then I don't want the card, okay?
What else do we have? So,
Exactly.
what's your vote? Color, pop a
Color.
color, neutral, or black?
And not black. If I'm going to be
Okay.
hot take, I feel like if everyone's wearing all black, it's going to read like JC Penney like photo studio, you know?
Okay. Yep.
I think some black is fine, but like, you know, I
Yep.
think you guys have more personality than all black. So I think that you should everyone should show their personality.
Okay. Even if it doesn't match each other, or we
Even
should try to coordinate.
I feel like you could stay in a vibe, you know?
Okay.
Like tonally, you could stay in like similar families. Like it doesn't even need to be like everyone's wearing blue and pink. It's just like we're wearing the same, our clothes have the same feeling, you know? It's not like one of us in neon and one of us in like muted mustard, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my opinion, but
All right. I think I'll pick some options for Kit and let her choose from the options, and then pick everyone else based on what she wants.
right.
Queen Kit, you know?
Queen Kit, yeah. That's what we did with Lila. We let her pick what dress she wanted, and then we all made sure that ours like worked with her dress.
Yeah, because she's the one who cares.
Yeah,
and doesn't care yet. So
actually, Oakley cared too, so we let him pick next. You know.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, should we story?
We should. We shall.
We have a few stories today.
Okay.
That I will surprise and delight you with. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The first one is called firing etiquette. We
right.
have to fire 2 people tomorrow. HR is doing the heavy lifting, but I will be on the Zoom because I am the supervisor. I was instructed to send an email essentially saying I need to meet with her to go over a few things, and here's the Zoom link. HR said said not to include him in the email and to not give her a heads up. She will learn that he will be joining the Zoom when she logs on. I'm finding this deceptive and ambushing. I feel like she has the right to know who will be in the meeting. We're a small team, and I'm nervous this will come across poorly with the rest of the team, i.e., cruel, lacking empathy. I shared my feelings. They understood for the most part, but they stood their ground. Is this common? This is my first time in this position having to fire anyone.
Ooh, she's going to know the second that HR is there what's happening. So I don't think there's any getting away from that. So I guess it just depends on if you want. Either way, I mean, she's probably going to stew about it regardless. Even the most secure employees are always like, if I get called in for a unexpected meeting, it's because I'm getting fired.
Yeah, even if she doesn't know that HR is going to be there, like she knows her supervisor is calling her for a meeting. So she's probably already nervous anyways. The piece from, I'm interested, like from the team perspective, like, do you feel like it's cruel or lacking empathy to kind of like surprise her with HR? But I also understand not communicating that in advance, just because you never know like what people are gonna.
Well, the whole thing is gonna be a surprise, you know. Like if there's been no indication that this person's being let go, then once the conversation heads in that direction, then that's gonna be the same feeling. I'm like really torn about, because as a team member, but also as somebody who would be the one to release people here, I don't know. I feel like if we've had to have conversations that were around performance and there was a third party being brought in, it was always communicated ahead of time. So I feel like that's probably the best bet. Just know she's going to know that she's getting fired, like, or released, like, you know.
Yeah. And I guess there are like, I don't know, why do you have to tell her the day in advance, I guess? Just because then, like, she's going to stew over it.
Right.
And, like,
can it just be like, we've got to hop on a call today? You know what I mean? Like, do you have access to her calendar? Can you just say, like, I see you're free in an hour. Can we meet?
I feel like that's the better approach, because I agree. I would want her to know, like, everyone who's going to be there, but I also don't want her to know that too far in advance, because, you know, firing people can be really like, she could spiral in her own head in those 24 hours. Like, you don't want, you know, people to do anything crazy. And
if you've ever,
it's, like, towards the company or towards themselves. So
if you've ever, like, I feel like you messaged me, like, maybe you and Tyler messaged me like one Saturday or something, I think, because you're like, we need to, like, the three of us need to chat, like, on Monday. And you were both like, you are not getting fired. We just need to talk about blah, blah, blah. Like, you had to, like, type it out in caps, you know, because then I was going to stew on. I mean, I was like, can we just meet now? Like, I don't care that it's Saturday. Right. What do you need to tell me? I'm free right now.
I know it's Saturday at 10 p.m., but I'm available.
Yeah. So I think the best bet, you're right, is actually is to be like, we need to meet today, or we need to meet like just do it now, because the longer you give the person, the more they're going to stew about it. Because if it was about a project, that's what you would say. We need to meet to discuss
a project.
This project.
They know already.
They know. If there's no specifics, people know.
And also, like, speaking to one of the topics we've talked about in the past, is like, I hope this is not a surprise for her, you know, like,
unless it's like a financial layoff.
Yeah, unless it's like a layoff, then obviously that's usually more of a surprise. But if this is about, like, performance, then I hope that it's not a surprise. They should be kind of expecting it at this point. So,
although there's this whole TikTok trend right now of people saying, like, I notice things that most people, I don't know the song, but it's like how people notice things that most people don't see. And one of them is people who stalk everyone's calendar to see, like, who's meeting that I'm not being included with. Am I then being pulled into a meeting to see if they're about to get laid off?
Oh my gosh, interesting.
Or like, who's meeting about
what? Have access to everyone's calendars?
I think in a lot of places, specifically places with teams, the calendar, everyone has access to everyone's calendar. You can see everyone's availability.
Yeah.
I mean, on our team, I have access to everyone's calendar.
Oh, I don't.
I do.
I guess I don't.
I think because I would always schedule things. I'd be like, just give me access to your calendar, so and keep your calendar up to date, so I can just put things in the team calendar.
Right.
You know? And that's why, like, sometimes you'll see, like, block in my calendar, because it's a nail appointment.
Instead of telling us what it actually is.
Because it's a nail appointment, you know? Or
I'm just like, gynecology appointment, or...
I should just put that. Like, I don't know why. I think I still have some ingrained, like, it's really hard for me to be like, it's okay that you, like, have a nail appointment for over lunch, you know? Like, it's fine. Most corporate girlies do anyway, you know?
Right. It's like,
but
going
it's
to
so
lunch.
hard.
You're allowed to go to lunch with a friend.
Yeah. It's hard, though. It's a hard thing to...
I'm going to the dentist today. So that's
good
fun
luck
for me.
I hope you don't have any
cavities. White in my teeth.
Oh. Yeah.
I've never got my teeth whitened, but I'm sure I would be shocked at how brown they are.
Yeah. I feel you. I don't drink red wine, but I do drink a coffee a day. So yeah. Okay.
Samesies.
So I don't know if you give advice that don't give her so much notice and include everyone involved.
And good luck to you. Firing people is never easy, no matter how many times you do it. It's like the worst part of your job. So considering this is your first time, give yourself some space afterwards to not do any heavy lifting, because it will also be emotional for you.
Maybe go get your nails done.
I think it's a man, but sure, go get your nails done too.
You still go get your nails done. Yeah.
Shiny buff. Okay. Is this retaliation? So I interviewed at a similar job to what I do, and then called in to the office. Oh, and then was called into the office and fired for accepting another offer. The offer at the place I interviewed hasn't even been officially extended yet. Is this retaliation or is this legal? Well,
I don't know.
Lawyer.
Yeah, that seems illegal.
I don't think it's illegal. I'm not a lawyer, but it seems like something they would totally be able to do. Like in a lot of states in the US at least, like you can fire someone for no reason at all. So it seems like you could fire someone for going and interviewing and accepting another job, like I could fire someone.
Like we just did a story like 2 episodes ago about someone working 2 full-time jobs.
Right. Like,
so how can it be illegal? How can it be legal to fire someone for accepting a second job?
Because you can fire someone for anything you want.
Oh, like, right. And I think that's the difference. In Canada, you cannot fire someone for no reason. Like there has to be like performance. It's performance based. Or you can release someone, but for no reason, but you have to pay them a lot of severance.
No, I'm pretty sure in a lot. So I think I think this depends on what state you're in, where you're located. Yeah. But I think for many states, are you Googling it?
I'm Googling it. Yeah.
I can hear you typing. I think in many states, like, no, it's not retaliation. Like they just decided they didn't want to deal with you leaving very soon, probably, and so they let you go.
Yeah. Receiving an offer for alternative employment is not included. Although your employer can certainly fire you for it, as they can for just about any other reason, they must provide you with reasonable notice or pay in lieu.
Yeah. So they can give you a 2-week notice of you're done, and sounds like you already have another job. So I think it's just like being really mindful if you're interviewing and potentially accepting other jobs that you're ready to go, or you're ready for the repercussions of leaving. I mean, I'm like a prime example of this. I started my own business on the side. It was a side business that I was doing for months and months while I was in corporate. And then basically once they found out, they gave me kind of an ultimatum. They were like, do you want to do that or do you want to stay here? And I was like, well, I don't think you want that answer, but they were not interested in me doing both. I guess legally I could have looked into getting a lawyer and seeing if that was legal, but to me it seems pretty legal that they could say, we are just letting you go because we don't want to deal with this. And they may have had to like give me 2 weeks a month. They ended up like wanting me to stay way longer than I even wanted to stay, because they needed me to like do things that they don't know how to do. But they pretty much gave me an ultimatum. Like,
it seems like, how did they find out? I'm just curious. I know that's not the question I have, but how did they find out?
It just says,
like, I wonder if
a similar job to what I do, and then was called into the office and fired for accepting another offer. So maybe it's like either office gossip, which was how people found out about me. Someone put one of my blog posts literally on one of our managers' desks, like printed it out anonymously, and then like, what a dick.
That's why you always got to say you have a dentist appointment and not tell anyone a single thing. So
that's why maybe on their team calendar they had interview at competitor.
Right.
Maybe don't do that if you don't want them to find out. And
I mean, if you're looking for other jobs, if you're at the stage where you're like interviewing at other companies, you're obviously likely ready to leave this one anyway. Especially because it was like similar positions, they're obviously looking to leave this company. So like, so be it.
Yeah.
But
That's how I felt like when
yeah.
I got the ultimatum. It was kind of like the universe like doing the thing that I didn't really want to man up or woman up to. Like I was
Yeah.
nervous to just quit. I didn't feel ready. I don't think I ever would have felt ready. I think I would have continued doing both for as long as I could, you know, for
Mhm.
financial reasons, but also just for like lack of courage reasons, not
Yeah.
trusting myself, you know, and so I felt like it was the universe being like, well, here's your chance. What are you
Yeah.
going to do?
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting story.
And then I
Like
went,
interesting concept though, because I feel
yeah,
like here that would never fly. Like,
right. And
but
here in America, we're like,
land of the free.
bye. Oh man. All right. Ready for our next story?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. What point in the hiring process should I bring this up? So, my current company has undergone a couple of reorganizations lately. Because of the uncertainty that goes with that, I've sent out a few CVs just to test the waters. Ooh, be careful.
As we just discussed.
Just read about this.
CV makes me think this is not American though.
Oh, we talk about CVs
Oh, do
too,
you?
but
Okay. Sounds very British to me.
yeah,
Okay.
it's like a interchangeable term with like
Yeah.
resume CV to me.
Yeah.
But the biggest obstacle I have in actually changing positions is that I receive treatments that require me to be out of office for a half day once each week for the foreseeable future. Stopping treatment is not an option. Assuming the new company was okay with it, I would expect to work 4 9-hour days and 1 4-hour day per week with hopefully little impact to my workflow. At what point in the interview process should I discuss this issue with the company?
Mm. I'm trying to think of like
Clueless?
a corporate thing and not like our
Not
La
think
La
like
Land,
yourself.
because I'd be like, I don't care. Like on your fourth week, like I don't care, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But in like depending on the type of job, like I think you have to disclose it. I would probably disclose it at a second interview.
So like you're far enough in that they like you and they're willing to just go with the flow of
Yeah.
the potential inconvenience.
Mm-hmm.
Wondering if this is a medical treatment. It says treatment, but it doesn't
I know.
specify medical, and I feel like it
So
would
you
be
don't have to
discrimination to not let
100%.
you do this.
Mm-hmm.
If it was something that required, I know that maybe it's elective, which again, probably none of their business. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I live in La La Land, so I would say the sooner the better, because I also want you to work for a company that matches the values and culture that you want to experience. And to me, if someone's like going to receive a treatment, but they already have a plan in place about how they're going to make sure that their work is done, like to me, that shows initiative. It shows that like they want to work with us and make it happen, but there are some, you know,
Mm-hmm.
flexibility things that they need. And I wouldn't want them to get too far if one, we couldn't accommodate that flexibility for whatever reason, like maybe the
Mm-hmm.
workflow can't accommodate it. Well, then that's just not the place for you.
Right.
Or like if our cultures don't match, you know, like I would just want them to tell me
Yeah.
sooner than later so that I could either know that it's a fit or know that it's not going to be. And I think that that's true for you too on the interviewee side. Like you don't want to waste your time with someone who
Yeah.
is going to be resistant to making accommodations for you, or like if it just doesn't work with the type of business that they have, or if they're like, yeah, no problem at all, like let's figure that out.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I'd know that until after having a first meeting, first interview.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree, like in person I think would be best on the interview. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think I would be putting that in the application or in your
No.
CV or cover
Yeah.
letter or anything. Like
Maybe at
make
the
it.
end of the first interview if it went really well, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But
Or like usually at the end of a first interview or end of any interview, they give you an opportunity to ask questions. I think that could be one of your questions, is like maybe about the workflow and how they
flexibility,
could
yeah.
accommodate, you know, certain medical or other types of appointments that you may have to attend. So
yeah, I definitely think it would really depend on, like, if I could see myself wanting to work here at the end during that first interview, I potentially would share it then. I would always wonder if I didn't get a call back, though, if that was the reason why. Whereas, like, if you get a call back for a second interview and then it's like, okay, great, like, I'm so glad that we agree, like, you know, to this point, we're a great fit. Like, this is the reality of my situation for right now, you know?
Yeah.
I guess it really depends.
I changed my mind.
Oh, do you?
Well, I want it to be like what you said, because I think we want them to want you for your value and what you bring to the table without taking this necessarily into full consideration. And if it's a match, we want to know that and then bring it up.
Because like
if
for
you
the
like them, if everything else matches. So
because for the right person, if it isn't gonna like if it's still possible to get the day done, then like it won't matter, you know, at all. And especially if it's not like I want to work, even if it was, I can only work 36 weeks or 35 weeks. Okay. Like, you know, but they're willing to like, they have a plan, all that. That's like incredible. But if it's not the right person, it just feels like an easy out. I don't know. I don't know.
Like an easy reason to say no.
Yeah. Or it could cloud, like, if you lead with, like, people have, like, biases and discrimination. Like, it could cloud how they're, like, viewing everything. I think I've seen my brother go through this a lot, where, like, on paper, you have no idea that he has cerebral palsy. It's like, but then as soon as it's, like, even just trying to schedule the interview because he has to make sure that he's got someone with, you know what I mean? Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, blah, 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 you know? So I think I'm just like extra sensitive. It's like, you don't get to know that part of me and let it impact what you think of my abilities until I decide so.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because if they're choosing between different candidates, then they may be taking that into consideration.
Right. When it really won't impact the work, but it's just different for them. So they're like letting it think it will, you know? It really depends on the kind of work they do. You know, like this wouldn't, like, unfortunately, in the society we live in, like, this wouldn't work for like a teacher, you know? I gotta have to get a sub. Like, that would impact their decision. Like, well, I have to get a sub every week, you know? Like, I could see how somebody would be nervous to share that, you know?
Yeah, but obviously this person knows what kind of job they're applying for, so it sounds like it wouldn't probably impact the working environment, but that's something to consider. Do you want to do one more?
Yeah, let's. We're only at 33 minutes, so.
All right. Okay, so is avoiding someone considered bullying or harassment? So, is it considered bullying, harassment if someone only interacts with a coworker when it pertains to business and in a very short, efficient manner? Does it matter if neither person is a subordinate to the other? One of my coworkers makes me uncomfortable, and I would rather not interact with them unless necessary for the jobs we're doing. But I want to make sure I'm not called out for passive-aggressive behavior. I just want to keep my head down, do my job, and go home and interact with this person as little as humanly possible.
That sounds like boundaries to me.
Okay. Yeah, not bullying, harassment.
No, it's definitely not bullying her. No,
I don't think so at all.
Bullying would be like, I feel like, to me, like, bullying is like an action. This just sounds like
active.
Yeah, this sounds like we don't need to be friends. I mean, I guess it really depends on the work culture. They
did say I don't want to be called out for passive aggressive behavior, but I think as long as your tone is fine, like when you're communicating to them and you're like to the point, pleasant, like you're not making negative comments to them, but you're just not making additional comments to them. Right. I don't think there's any problem with that. We can't expect everyone to get along and be best friends. And especially if this person makes you uncomfortable, that's even like another degree of, relationship beyond just, I don't want to be friends with this person. It's like, if this person makes you uncomfortable, but you can get by with like just doing your job, then I think like just do your job and you don't need to do anything more in terms of interaction with them.
Right.
You know, keep it to a minimum, but keep it positive and neutral so that you're not, you know, being accused of being passive aggressive or being negative towards this person. Like, you can be neutral and not be someone's friend without being negative or bullying them.
Exactly. And like at its like most harmless, if it's just that you two don't jive, like that's fine. But if they make you uncomfortable for like a real reason, I hope you share that with someone. Like if there's like a type of comment, or if there's something, like you can share that with a supervisor. I think if you have a trusting supervisor, you could say, I know we have to work together, and I know that I can be professional and cordial, but like this person for XYZ reasons makes me uncomfortable.
This person doesn't wear pants in the office and it makes me uncomfortable.
This person makes jokes about blah, blah, you know what I mean? Like that aren't funny, you know, or that are insensitive, you know, those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I don't know, maybe you're not the only one who feels that way, but.
Have you ever felt that way?
100%, all the time, yeah. You. At Clockwork, never. Like,
what are you gonna tell about me?
But you bully me, so I'm telling you right now, this is me reporting to my manager. No, I have obviously felt that way. I know, with love. I felt that way at restaurants 100%, where it's like people just sometimes just give you the vibe, or they don't have the same values as you, so they make comments or jokes or that make you uncomfortable. And I've dealt with that a lot, and like I would never say anything. One time I did say something, and then I was the problem.
Oh, of course.
But of course it was like actually all the girls went to like HR and complained about.
And you were the problem. You girls were the problem.
The girls were the problem. Yeah. There was 3 of us in the whole department. So yeah. Wow. But like we didn't like being called the C word at 19, you know?
Well, yeah, I'd say not.
Yeah. So
how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you report someone for that?
Yeah, but then we were the problem.
How does someone swing that you're the problem in that scenario? Like, or did they say because you were being a C word, or were they just like,
well, like I definitely was a bitch. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but I was a product of my environment. Like, you're gonna treat me like this? Like, how do you think I'm gonna act? You know?
Yeah. So maybe you were being a little C word.
I think it wasn't that like we were being like, it was like almost trying, like they were trying to like make it become like a term of endearment. And we were all like, no. Like, you're not my girl, being like, hey girl, or like, what up, bitch? You know, like that doesn't hit the same from a 40-year-old man when I'm a 19-year-old girl, you know, calling me the C. Like, you're acting like a, you know, like it was disgusting. So we all went to HR and they were like, well, you know, basically we were just being sensitive. Like, we were being sensitive.
No, this was like pre-Me Too movement.
Oh, yeah, this is
chaos. A long time ago. That someone that would just like that HR would just be like, well, then stop being a C word, girl.
It was
like,
wild.
What?
It was wild. So
stop being so sensitive. Like, no, it's not okay for anyone to call you outside of your name for any reason at your work environment.
It was wild. Wild times. So but no, I've never felt like that. And I could see like at our company, like because we have such a close-knit culture, like one day there are going to be people on our team who just don't gel, you know? And we're going to have to one day kind of be like, okay, like you don't have to be friends, but we do have to be professional and respectful. And like, you can do that, you know? But if it becomes more of like something inappropriate happening, like I encourage you to actually just report that to your manager.
Yeah.
So if that's why you're uncomfortable.
Yeah, I would question for yourself. Like, think about, why am I uncomfortable? Or is like uncomfortable maybe the wrong word? Like, maybe I just don't like this person or whatever. Yeah. Like, it's okay to not just jive with someone.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. That's all. That's all we wrote. Okay.
All the stories that she wrote today.
Yeah.
But what I would like to tell everyone is that they should hit the subscribe button, the follow button, whatever it is on the podcast app that you are listening on, because we will be back again next week and we want to make sure you hear that episode too. You can also share this with a friend, because the best thing to do if you want to like really impress your friends is to send them something super valuable or funny or interesting. And our podcast is all of those things. So they're going to be like, wow, thank you so much for sending this to me. And we're going to be like, thank you so much for sending this to them. So
do it.
Think of someone that may benefit from listening to, maybe they hate their work environment and they need to listen to a few episodes before they decide to send in their own story, you know? So send them a couple episodes and be like, you should send in your topic soon too, but listen to these girls first, and then listen to these C's first, and then and then send in your story. If you want to send in your story or you need some advice, you can go to dearworkwives.com and everything is completely anonymous. I will never say your name or call you the C word on this podcast. So.
But I will see you next Tuesday.
That's right. See you next Tuesday.